Steve Dotto here for LearnNowBC. Let's take a look at an application called Evernote. And actually, Evernote is far more than just an application. It's actually an entire ecosystem of its own. What Evernote is a tool that allows us to store and retrieve all those little bits of data that we gather in our lives that we might need access to in the future. Those little bits of data can be web pages or articles, they can be receipts or photographs or notes. Pretty much any bit of digital information that we want to access in the future, we can store in Evernote in a way that we can find it again. And because it's a cloud-based app, because all of the data within Evernote lives on the internet, we can find that information from any of our smart devices, from our phone, our tablet, our computer, or from our friend's computer by signing into our account. So Evernote is basically this ecosystem that lives on the internet that we access all of and store all of our different data in. And then it's a series of tools on our different devices. We have a plugin in our web browser, we have an application on our computer, we have an app on our smartphone that allows us to access it as well. I think rather than show you the apps themselves, maybe if I walk you through actually how you might store and retrieve a piece of information, will give you a better picture of how Evernote might fit in your life. So as I was reading the news this morning, I found this article on the Mars rover Curiosity. Now, if I'm a teacher that's going to be doing a space unit, I might want to store this to use in school a little bit later. If I'm a student who knows I'm going to be studying this, it might be something I want to store. And in the past, if we wanted to store this bit of information, we would maybe print out the article, which is of course not very efficient. We could copy and paste it into a document, which is not really an efficient way to do things. Mostly we would bookmark it. We would create a bookmark of this and then we would try and find that bookmark at some time in the future, which as we know is not very efficient. Well, with Evernote, we don't do any of those things. Instead, what we do is we clip this article and we store it in Evernote. Now, how do we clip it? Well, fortunately, Evernote produces a series of tools, including plugins for all web browsers. There's my plugin right there. That is free to install. We do it from the Evernote site. It installs in all of our different web browsers, so regardless of what computer you're on, you can clip it here to Evernote. And when I clip, it then looks at the page and it says, what is it that you want to clip? Do you just want to clip this article? Do you want to save the whole page? Or do you want to save the URL? So I just want to save this article for future reference. And then it asks me where I want to save it. See, I've got within my Evernote account, it's accessing my own personal Evernote account here, I've got all of these different folders based on different projects that I work on. Now I use the inbox as kind of a clearinghouse for all the articles that I clip. And then I go and I organize them a little later in Inbox. But that's just my personal organizational style. I could be putting it directly in a notebook here if I chose. And then I'm going to give it some tags. I'm going to say, I think this is about the Mars rover. Mars. I'm going to put in rover. I'm going to add space. And so those are tags that I'm adding that will allow me to search on this in the future. And I'll show you how that happens in just a few moments. Once I've tagged it, I can also add a comment about it. I can save the article. Now the beauty of this is now this is accessible on the internet from any of my devices. So you know when you've bookmarked a really cool site and then you're talking to friends at a cocktail party several weeks later and you say, wow, there was this site that has just what you're talking about, but it's in your bookmarks back on your computer. You can't find that and you're trying to do another search on your smartphone. It's a mess. With this, we can now access this exact page from any of our devices. And let me show you how that happens. I'm going to close down the little confirmation here, and I'm going to take us now into my Evernote app on my computer. This is my Evernote account, which I'm accessing now through the Evernote app on my computer. The Evernote app installs in Windows or Mac, and it allows us to access and manage all of the different data that we've clipped and stored in our Evernote account from any of our other devices. And the reason that we created those tags is so that we can easily find the information that we're looking for. Now the app is free, and as a matter of fact, Evernote itself is free. They've got a free amount of storage that everybody gets with their Evernote account, and once you go above that amount of storage, then you start paying a small monthly fee. But there's a lot of storage for free within Evernote. It takes a long time before you need to move into the revenue side of the relationship with the Evernote people. Now, The reason that I tag that, as I mentioned, is so that I can search to find that document in the future if I need it. So I'm going to just type in Mars rover, and there I have the tag appearing right away here of the document that I just uploaded. So I can click here and we can see the same article that was on the web page now available to me here in Evernote. This is a really powerful tool. By properly tagging and organizing my information, I can access it from any of my devices at any time. So a student in school, if you happen to be working and you have a smartphone and you find a piece of information that's important or interesting, you just clip it and store it in Evernote. I use this in business. I take pictures of receipts of business meals, and I take a picture of the receipt with my camera on my digital phone. That way I've got the receipt, and when I'm doing my expenses, I just search for all of my receipts. I've got images of them all there. I just drag them into the document that goes to my accountant, and I'm done. It creates a tremendous sense of structure to, as I said, those little bits of data that we work with. Evernote has the potential of creating structure in places where chaos currently exists in many of our lives with all that little bits of data. I think it's well worth checking out. On behalf of LearnNowBC, I'm Steve Dotto.